I talk a lot about interior design that is connected to slow living and intentional interiors. It's all really romanticized and it's idealized. And on one hand, I want it to be like this because I feel like then it's more inspiring and pleasant. But let's be honest, no one is perfect, and you can't have a home that is used that will be perfect. So today I want to share with you some hypocrisies from my space and debunk the perfectionism a little bit, especially since I have really high perfectionist tendencies. So let's be a little vulnerable here and make fun of me or something. I think that a little honesty will be useful. Just grab a drink and let's criticize me for a little bit. Let's start with a big one because I talk a lot about minimalism and I really love minimalism. I hate doing it. I don't like cleaning. I don't really like decluttering, procrastinate a lot when it comes to it. And if you look in my home, I have multiple junk drawers, multiple, really. Also, I have similar types of things in different spaces in my home instead of accumulating them in one spot. For example, I have 3 medical drawers with supplements, with patches, everything in 3 drawers. I also have 3 drawers of electronics that include some really old phones, for example, that no one is using. I just don't want to go through them, and so they lie around with all the cables and everything. When I mention it aloud, it just hurts my soul a little bit because it's something that I know I should deal with, but procrastinate, and I put it in the back of my mind. I have more important things to do. I talk a lot about decluttering for mental clarity, and here I am doing this shit. I procrastinate a lot when it comes to decluttering, home chores, repairing stuff. When I talk about this one, I even get a little bit embarrassed because I have a broken lamp in my kitchen. Well, one ceiling lamp detached itself from the ceiling. So I just have cables. And I'm caring about how my living room looks and what type of blanket I have. But hello, lamp in my kitchen is missing. It is self-aware name of the channel, and there is no such thing as perfect home, and there is always something that needs repairing, always something that needs cleaning, something that isn't perfect, and it's okay. Next one is about me wanting to have a slow life and talking about slow living, slow home, slowing down at your home, creating interiors that help you relax after work. And here I am, total workaholic, and I can't rest. I'm not able to. I do a lot of things. I love starting new projects. I do this as my side hustle. I work full time. I also do other design projects outside of my work. I do a lot. So I talk about creating slow home, and I would even say that my home is one that supports it. I don't use it. I hustle in my slow home. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't do it if I wouldn't like it, but at the same time, girl, just rest for a little bit. Hear me out. Please leave one thing, one hypocrisy from your home to make me feel better about myself. Please, I'm waiting for these comments because, to be honest, it's too much. I have a list here of all the things that I want to tell you, and I am feeling it right now when I say it out loud. It becomes real when you say it out loud. Also in this category, something that is more technical, and I think that this is maybe more relatable for other people, is I have my office setup in the living room. I talk a lot about dividing the spaces, and you want your workspace to be separate from your relaxation zone. But as I said, mine is in the living room because it's just the floor plan of my home. Also, my partner has his office set up in the bedroom, but we have a curtain to separate them. My office area is a little bit hidden. I have a nook with my desk. It is a little bit separated, but in ideal perfect home, it would be a separate room. I talk a lot about overconsumption and conscious curation of the things that we own and what we buy. Also, I talk a lot about avoiding fast furniture. I wouldn't say that I consume a lot. I don't buy a lot of stuff, but I have to admit I get really, really excited about new collections and trends, not to mention like new catalog at IKEA. I love it. I love to go to the store, look at these items. Most often I don't buy them, which you could say that's the thing that I preach, and this isn't a hypocrisy, but for real, for a person that talks about anti-consumption, I get really, really excited about it. And also there are some things that I purchase even though I know that I don't have to, or that I already have a lot. And this is specifically, I'm talking here about candles. I think that candles I have listed in many of anti-hauls. And when I listed them, I really didn't buy them then. But I have so many that I could avoid buying them for a long time. I have a box with candles that aren't started yet. And to be honest, I don't use a lot of candles. I really do it only from time to time, mostly when I have guests or I have one candle lit in. But the amount of candles that I have is huge. A whole box. This is one of these things that is embarrassing. Anti-consumption isn't the only thing because, as I said, I don't buy new stuff a lot, but I have a problem. I collect a lot. I have a collection of old chairs that I have found and that I can't even look you in the eye. I have a collection of old chairs that I was collecting from the streets to renovate, and to be honest, I still hope I will renovate them, but at the moment it's like maybe 20 chairs just lying in my basement and waiting. And it's not from the last year. I think I have collected them for like 3 or 4 years and I have renovated only one of them. So yeah, minimalism as fuck. And other thing when we come to like values, because I still think that it's a good thing. It's a project for me to do. It's secondhand. It will go to trash. But if I renovate it, it's different, it's a different thing. One more thing that is related to my values that doesn't really align, and this one is in my home and I really love it because my favorite rug is made from polyester. Actually, I'm glad it is because I have a dog and it gets dirty pretty often and it's easy to clean. But if you have the money and if you have other conditions that will be beneficial for more expensive rug, and I value quality, high quality, and also natural materials. So this doesn't change. Just this one piece I'm actually glad isn't as good of a quality. It's not bad. I have it, I think, a year and it's intact, and a lot has happened on this carpet. As I said, I have a dog. There is something about a specific aesthetic of slow living and slow home that in my mind correlates to minimalism. I know that even when I talk about it, it doesn't work like this. Everyone has its own personality that should be shown in the interior, but something about avoiding clutter and carrying more intentional, curated decisions into the space, I feel like have something in common with aesthetics as well and with the visual side. What's funny is that in my, I would say, minimalistic home, not with the style, but with the intentionality of many things, I have almost none empty walls to film on, or at least they aren't as easily accessible as you would think, which correlates to my personality. I love art, I love plants, and I wouldn't call myself a maximalist. No. I'm for sure on the minimalistic side, and in my space you will find mostly neutrals with pops of colors, but still it's quite full. These aesthetics don't really work in real life. The visual version of your home and the functional version of your home don't always align, especially if you have pets or children. For example, you probably can hear my dog in the background and her paws. You know, it's impossible when you have a dog to always have clean floors. It's not only the fur, it's also the mud. It's also the toys that she is tearing apart. We have some walnuts in the garden and she is bringing them home and crushing them, and the shell of a walnut, they are lying all over on my floor, or the windows that are here and give me the light, they are dirty because she's sitting here and she's smearing her nose on the windows. These are like the floor to ceiling windows, and this is just how it has to be. It's not aesthetics, it's just life, something that my friend from work told me, and now it always makes me happy when I think about it. I have a lot of dark clothes. My dog is beige, and all her hair stuck on this coat, and even if you roll the coat and clean it, it always has a handful of her hair on it. And one day I forgot a roller to the office. I just look at myself and I made a comment about my appearance and about the hair, that it's untidy or whatever, you know. And it was just like something that I said. And she looked at me and said, Maya, that's amazing. This means that you have a dog. And it's so simple, but it made my day. And as I said, I recall it each time I see a piece of hair of my dog. It reminds me that some imperfections are a good representation of your life and don't have to be negative. Maybe they are annoying, but I wouldn't change it, because this means that, yes, I have a dog and I love her and she's really, really cute. So the appearance isn't always what we would like it to be, but many times that thing that you perceive as something flawed or imperfect actually means that there is something good in your life. Not always, of course, but many times if my home is messy, this just means that I have a lot of projects that I like and that I work on. So I don't have the time to clean it. They just reflect your lifestyle and your life, and they show how imperfection is a sign of progress in your space. There is always something that can be improved on, and I don't think that it's a bad thing. The key here, I would say, is to be honest with yourself and with you, because I could make another video, and I will, because I think they are valuable and I hope they are helpful for you. I know that for me, in other aspects, I really like these types of videos because they motivate me the most. So I'm not saying that I shouldn't do these videos or that other people shouldn't do these types of content, or that you shouldn't consume this idealized type of content, but I think that we need the balance in everything, and also here we need sometimes to be more vulnerable, to show each other how it is. Once again, I beg of you, leave me a comment with at least one hypocrisy from your home or from your life, because even though it has a beautiful bow at the end, and even though I think this is something that I should share, it still feels intimidating and scary. Just let me know. And also, I'm just curious if you do any of the things that I do, or if maybe you have something interesting that you don't mind sharing, then yeah, just let's chat in the comments about it. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. I will link here a video that YouTube thinks that you will like. Also, about 2 years ago, I have recorded a similar type of video that right now I think can be a little bit outdated, but I will link it. Maybe a comparison will be fun. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.